What is 12 divided by 1/2? So I'm going to need to get 12 pieces and line them up perfectly as a half of a row and see how many columns that would create. So let's first get 12 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I'm going to need to align them up as a half of a row. So how do I do that? Well, we already know that one row would be aligning it up with this piece. We can also know that 2 half rows would equal 1 row for the reason that 2 halves is equal to 1. However, we're only aligning up with a half of a row, 1/2 of a row. Now the problem is, how do I line them up with 1/2 of a row? Like this piece, if we do not change it at all, does not match the width of 1/2 of a row. Like it's too big, and the only thing I could do is have more pieces, and that's not going to work if I had more pieces. So I'm going to need to have less of a piece to match up with 1/2 row. So what I'm going to need to do would be cut this piece into 2 parts so that I can align it up with that 1/2 row. I have to align it up perfectly if I want to solve 12 divided by 1/2. If I cut up this piece into 2 parts, I'm not changing how much blue I have. I'm just simply separating the blue into 2 parts. So let me do that for all these pieces so that we can align them up with this 1/2. And then we can see how many columns we have to figure out what 12 divided by 1/2 would be. So now we just cut up each piece into 2 parts. We did not change how much blue we have. We simply cut up each piece into 2 parts. We did not change how much we have. We just changed the form of what we have. Instead of having 12 whole pieces, we had 24 halves. And 24 halves is equal to 24 divided by 2, which is equal to 12. We do have as much as we started out with, but it's now in a different form. And now it would be easier to align it up with 1/2. So now we can align up the width of each of these half pieces with the half row. So we can now align up the pieces and figure out how many columns we would have, and then we can figure out 12 divided by 1/2. Well, as you can see, there's a lot of columns. Let's count up how many columns we have to figure out what 12 divided by 1/2 is. So we arranged 12 pieces into a half of a row, and we got 24 columns. Therefore, 12 divided by 1/2 is equal to 24. Because 12 divided by 1/2 is equal to 24, 12 divided by n, when n is equal to 1/2, is equal to 24. So here I have 12 blue squares. If I cut each of them in half, I'll get something like this. Now I'm going to explain how I get from this picture to this picture. The pieces that I have circled in pink could be transferred over to this position that I've circled in pink in the top picture. These pieces that I've circled in purple could be transferred over to this position that I've circled in purple in the top picture. In the top picture, I'll try to find what 12 divided by 1/2 is by getting 12 pieces, aligning them in half a row and see how many columns I'll get. Another way of looking at this is by these rectangles. And each rectangle has 12 columns. That means I have 12 plus 12 columns, or 2 times 12 columns, which is also equal to 12 times 2. So 12 divided by 1/2 is equal to 12 times 2, which is equal to 24. I would now like to explain in another way why 12 divided by 1/2 is equal to 24. Well, 12 divided by 24 is equal to 12 24ths. If I divide both the numerator and denominator by 12, which means I'm simplifying the fraction, I plan to later explain why you can simplify fractions in a later set of videos, and when I create that set of videos, I plan to have that linked in the description of this video. But anyway, we're simplifying this fraction, and 12 divided by 12 is 1, and 24 divided by 12 is 2. So this would be 1/2. Because we know that 12 divided by 24 is 1/2, and because we know that division is opposite of multiplication, we can also know that 24 times 1/2 is equal to 12. Because of the commutative property of multiplication, the property that says that x times y is equal to y times x, where x is one number and y is yet another number, I had to explain why that works in the previous set of videos, and the link for that set of videos should be in the description of this video. Anyway, because of the commutative property of multiplication, this also means that 1/2 times 24 is equal to 12. Because division is the opposite of multiplication, this means that 12 divided by 1/2 is equal to 24. Here is a link for the playlist that's about dividing 12 by smaller and smaller numbers by using rows and columns. It includes this video and other similar videos. If you would like to, feel free to click on this link.